RC from the Montauk Joiner Shop here. When I was determining the proportions for the upper case for my Bargueño desk build, I settled on the golden ratio. Now, do I somehow believe that imbues my project with the mysteries of the universe? Of course not, that's bullshit. Here's why. The golden ratio, aka golden rectangle, aka phi, aka Fibonacci sequence, is a concept that draws from geometry and mathematics, has neat historical origins, and shows up both in architecture and nature in fascinating ways. It's also had an influence on furniture design. Nando Harmsen did an article for photography website fstoppers.com in which he summed up where the golden ratio and related concepts came about. So I'll just paraphrase it here. The golden ratio is an invention of an ancient Greek mathematician named Euclid, who was freaky smart. Somehow he found out that the division of a line according to a certain ratio can go on indefinitely. I don't know how I did this, but this ratio is an irrational number, which means it cannot be written down as a natural fraction. This irrational number is the golden ratio. The number is 1.618, followed by an infinite number of digits. 1.61803398874989484820458, and so on. Or the Greek letter phi, for short. Later on, another almost unnaturally smart dude by the name of Archimedes comes along, and he's obsessed with spirals. One of the spirals he made was the Spirabilis Mirabilis, which is based on the golden ratio. 16 centuries later, Leonardo of Pisa comes up with a sequence of numbers in which every number was the sum of the previous two, and the sequence was infinite. This sequence of numbers was named after his nickname, the Fibonacci sequence. Fibonacci also came to be what we call Archimedes' Spirabilis Mirabilis. So Archimedes kind of got the shaft there, but I digress. So then came German astronomer Johannes Kepler, and he discovered the link between the golden ratio and the Fibonacci sequence. He found out how the division between a Fibonacci number by the previous number in the sequence would approach the golden ratio with increasing accuracy. All of this is quite impressive in and of itself, but it gets even more interesting. It turns out that the Fibonacci spiral that Archimedes came up with, got your back Archimedes, shows up in nature in things as disparate as nautilus shells and the distribution of seeds on the face of a sunflower. And now our minds are blown. Unfortunately, humans have this tendency toward a behavior called confirmation bias. And now the internet is littered with memes in which we superimpose the Fibonacci spiral over everything until it kind of sort of lines up with something, maybe, if you don't look too carefully, and proclaim, look, a Fibonacci spiral, this shit is magic. It turns out it doesn't work like that, like at all. To make matters worse, sometimes artists and designers will use a Fibonacci spiral or a golden ratio on purpose, so they can co-opt our rightful fascination with these concepts and claim some value the item doesn't really have. It's one of many ways designers and artists like to bullshit their way into clients' pocketbooks. Another is the use of something called art speak, but that's a subject for another time. Back to furniture design. So, why did I use the golden ratio for the proportion of my Bargueño desk? Was it out of some desire to connect my design with the great minds of the ages or the mysterious phenomena of nature? Am I just a Tool fan? The answer is no and yes. But truth be told, I simply needed a very specific dimension that didn't align with a whole number proportion. You see, well-proportioned furniture generally aligns with simple whole number proportions. And this is a far, far better way to approach proportion in furniture design. It's how everything from Roman temples to much of the furniture and decorative arts museums the world over were originally designed. How we forgot this, I'm not entirely sure. But had all of those things used the golden ratio instead, and why wouldn't you? A whole number ratio is good. A golden one is even better, right? We would rightly be bored with all of it, regardless of how cool the history and significance of it is. And it is truly cool, I get that, I really do. I did a whole video on this concept in my 5 P's of Furniture Design video series. I'll leave a link to it in the description. In the meantime, I suggest always looking for whole number proportion that lands on the overall dimensions required of a piece, and leaving the golden ratio as something to fall back on. Leave the overuse of a not always practical golden ratio to the bullshit artists. Worry about doing good work instead. The end. Now, if you like what you saw here, please hit like and subscribe. It would help me out a lot. Also hit the little bell icon if you want to be notified anytime I release a new video. And if you didn't like what you saw here, keep it to yourself, pal. Or watch one of my other videos, you might like one of those. Thank you for watching.